Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just jump right in. When you hear the name Rolls-Royce, your brain probably goes straight to, well, ultra wealth, right? Royalty, massive estates, the absolute pinnacle of engineering. But today, we're going to dive into the incredibly gritty, frankly obsessive reality behind this brand. Because as you're going to see, this is not a story of inherited wealth or easy money. Not at all. It's a story of raw resilience and an absolutely relentless pursuit of perfection. Look at this wild contrast. The man who created the ultimate dream car for the super rich, Henry Royce, did not grow up in a mansion. Far from it. Born back in 1863, his father's business went belly up when he was just 4 years old. We're talking extreme, devastating poverty. By the time he was 9, his dad had passed away, his mom was working as a maid, and young Henry was forced into grueling child labor just to survive. And his sheer grit is just off the charts. He went from literally delivering newspapers in the pitch dark as a 9-year-old to finally catching a break at 14 when an aunt secured him a railway apprenticeship. For 3 solid years, he's working day and night in a factory, but he's also completely devouring books. He's teaching himself math, carpentry, and this is crucial, electronics. So by 17, he's a fully capable mechanic. By 21, an electrical engineer. He literally built his entire intellect from the ground up. Eventually, the electrical company he's working for faces bankruptcy. Now, most of us would just panic and start updating our resumes. Not Royce. He scraped together his life savings, which was exactly 20 pounds, by the way, grabbed his buddy Ernest Claremont, and started his own business right in Manchester. And they hustled, fixing broken sewing machines, repairing doorbells, literally doing whatever it took to keep the lights on. Fast forward to 1900, and the business is actually booming. They hit 20,000 pounds in sales. But then, boom. A massive crash hits the electronics market in 1901. Foreign competitors flood in, prices absolutely tank, and the stress completely ruins Royce's physical and mental health. His doctor gives him this surprisingly simple prescription. Just get some fresh air. He basically tells him to buy a car so he can travel without wearing himself out. So Royce goes out and buys a French-made car called a Decoville. Now, here is where that legendary perfectionism really kicks in. Royce gets this French Decoville, and he absolutely despises it. It was incredibly noisy, the brakes were essentially a suggestion, and the thing constantly overheated. For a guy like Henry Royce, this was totally below standard, unacceptable. So instead of returning it or just complaining, what does he do? He rips the entire thing apart. And actually, scratch that, he didn't just tweak it, he completely re-engineered the mechanics to build something miles ahead of the original. Tearing down that French car gave him the push he needed to just build his very own from scratch. He gets a team together and engineers a 10-horsepower, 2-cylinder car. And on April 1st, 1904, they take it out and it flawlessly completes a 50-kilometer road test on the very first try. It was quieter, lighter, and just way more reliable than anything else out there. He had basically built a masterpiece. The only problem? He had zero clue how to sell it to the world. Well, enter Charles Rolls. And this is where history is made, right? Rolls was basically Royce's polar opposite. He was a wealthy, passionate motorist who already ran a highly successful business selling premium cars. But he was desperately hunting for a luxury British car maker to champion. When Rolls saw Royce's engineering at an exhibition, he literally told his partner he had found the world's greatest engineer. That single, almost cinematic meeting is what officially created Rolls-Royce Limited in March of 1906. Now, to get the word out, they didn't just rely on boring magazine ads. Oh no, they wanted undeniable proof. They took their beautifully crafted 10, 15, 20, and 30 horsepower models and just threw them into the most brutal racing tournaments of the era. And they dominated. I mean, winning the Isle of Man race, conquering the Tourist Trophy, shattering speed records left and right. They proved right out of the gate that you could have absolute luxury and beast-level performance in the exact same machine.